The Simpsons isn't just a show. It's a cultural phenomenon that reshaped TV, defined a generation, and somehow keeps shambling on, despite years of fan groans and critic side-eyes. From its scrappy beginnings to its golden age glory, through its painful decline and zombie-like endurance, we're diving into the full arc of It all kicked off in 1987, when Matt
Groening,
a scrappy underground cartoonist with a knack for biting humor, walked into a meeting with the Tracy Ullman Show's producers. Known for his cult comic strip Life in Hell, a darkly funny take on urban culture, he was a guy with a sketch pad and a chip on his shoulder, pitching a bold idea for animated bumpers to fill the gaps in Fox's new sketch comedy show. Enter The Simpsons. Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie, a dysfunctional American family drawn from Groening's own childhood memories. These weren't the polished cartoons of typical Saturday mornings. They were rough, hand-drawn, and bursting with raw personality. These Tracy Ullman shorts, airing between 1987 and 1989, were 30 to 60 seconds of chaos, each one a mini rebellion against the squeaky clean animation norm. Bart, the spiky-haired troublemaker, Marge with her towering blue beehive, Homer's bumbling laziness, Lisa's precocious angst, and Maggie's silent mischief. The animation was deliberately crude, with wobbly lines and off-kilter colors that gave it a punk rock edge. At the time, animation was strictly kid stuff. Think He-Man or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Primetime cartoons for adults? Unheard of. Networks saw animation as cheap filler, not a vehicle for satire or storytelling. But Fox, a scrappy new network desperate to stand out, saw the potential. The Tracy Ullman shorts were a hit, pulling in buzz and fan mail despite their brevity, which ultimately led to Groening teaming up with James L. Brooks, a TV legend from Taxi fame, and writer Sam Simon, a sitcom veteran with a sharp comedic mind. Together they pitched The Simpsons as a half-hour series, a gamble that Fox, hungry for a breakout, greenlit in 1989. It was a bold move. Brooks later told the Los Angeles Times in 1990 that nobody knew if adults would watch a cartoon at 8 p.m. On December 17, 1989, The Simpsons debuted with Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, a Christmas special that wasn't just a pilot, but a cultural earthquake. The episode centered on Homer's desperate bid to save Christmas after a bad bet at the dog track, blended sardonic humor with raw emotion. This wasn't a kid's show. It was a story about scraping by, family loyalty, and finding joy in the mess of life. Directed by David Silverman, it drew 26.7 million viewers, a massive win for Fox, and critics were floored. Variety in 1989 called it a biting, heartfelt surprise, praising its subversive wit and emotional core. By season 2, The Simpsons had already hit its stride, sharpening its satire and shifting the spotlight to Homer, who evolved from a grumpy dad into a lovable, bumbling everyman. His mix of dim-witted optimism and heartfelt loyalty made him the show's emotional core, and the writers grew more confident with tackling real-world issues like workplace dysfunction, parenting struggles, and even political corruption. The early seasons of The Simpsons were a slow burn, a scrappy underdog finding its voice in a TV landscape that didn't know what to make of it. Viewership exploded, climbing from 13 million in season 1 to 24 million by season 3, a testament to the show's growing grip on popular culture. Bart's catchphrases were plastered on t-shirts, lunchboxes, and bumper stickers, and by 1991, Fox was raking in millions from Bart dolls, comic books, and even a short-lived cereal, Simpsons Crunch. Then came the golden age of the series, and the exact seasons is argued to this day, but it is roughly agreed to be somewhere between 3 and 8, where The Simpsons wasn't just good, it was untouchable. With writers like Conan O'Brien and George Meyer, the show churned out classics like Marge vs. the Monorail, hilarious, heartfelt, and razor-sharp, tackling everything from corporate greed to small-town politics, while keeping the Simpsons family core rock solid. Emmys piled up, and Rolling Stone even dubbed it the best show on television. By season 5, it was pulling in nearly 30 million viewers a week, dominating primetime and even outshining sitcom giants like Seinfeld. The 1990s also saw The Simpsons go global. Syndication deals and international broadcasts made it a worldwide hit, with 60 countries airing it by 1997. This was The Simpsons at its peak, a cultural juggernaut beloved by fans, critics, and even intellectuals who wrote essays on its satire. Cracks started showing around season 9, and fans often point to one episode in particular, The Principal and the Pauper, as the turning point. An episode revealing Skinner as an imposter named Armin Tamzarian, which was seen as a massive betrayal of the character, and unfortunately, it was a sign of things to come. Under showrunner Mike Scully, the show leaned more and more into wacky gags over the emotional depth the show used to be known for, and fans started to feel like the characters were becoming caricatures of their original selves. By the 2000s, the decline was undeniable. Viewership slid from 15 million in season 12 to 10 million by season 15, as audiences drifted to edgier shows like Family Guy. Theories on the fall are plentiful. Fans and critics often blame the loss of the Golden Age writers like O'Brien and Greg Daniels, with many noting their exit left a void, with new writers struggling to capture the magic. Showrunner Al Jean, who took over in season 13 and stayed through to 2025, catches heat for running the show on autopilot, recycling plots like Homer's 50th get-rich scheme. All throughout this period, viewership kept sliding, hitting a low of 2 million by season 35. Yet, glimmers of hope emerged, with many noting sharper writing under Matt Selman's influence, but the broader audience didn't bite, with zombie Simpsons having become a popular term among the fandom, who saw the show as a shell of its former self. So why is The Simpsons still here, recently renewed through 2029, despite everything? Well, money's the easy answer. The show's a cash cow. Syndication, merchandise, Disney Plus streaming, they all generate millions yearly. Parrot Analytics in 2023 ranked it the 4th most in-demand US show, with 76% of its audience under 40. As Gen Z binges classics on Disney Plus, the show's rewatchability is unmatched, and Fox and Disney lean on this nostalgia, knowing that the brand is just too big to fail. The Simpsons burst onto the scene as a rebel, a cartoon that dared to be smart, funny, and real, rewriting the rules of TV itself and etching itself into the soul of popular culture. Its golden age, from seasons 3 to 8, set a towering standard no show has touched since, blending razor-sharp satire with heart that made Springfield feel like home. But the fans, once fiercely loyal, now beg for a graceful exit, yet Springfield staggers forward, propped up by Disney's iron grip, a cash cow that they can't let die. One thing is for sure though, this isn't The Simpsons anymore. It's zombie Simpsons, a lifeless husk shambling through the airwaves, haunting fans with faded glory and a refusal to rest in peace. A cautionary tale of what happens when a legend outlives its spark.